Glassdoor ranked data scientists as one of the best jobs in America, based on the median base salary, the number of active job openings, and employee satisfaction rates. Harvard Business School, on the other hand, called data scientist the sexiest job of the 21st century. Doesn't that make you wonder why, though? It certainly did for me. So I did a bit of digging, and I'm here to tell you all about it. But first, let's see what you should expect from the video. First up, we'll take a look at why become a data scientist. Here we'll explore the reasons behind becoming a data scientist. In the next section, we will talk about what does a data scientist do by taking a look at their roles and responsibilities briefly, after which we'll move on to what are the kind of skills that are required for a data scientist in order to fulfill those roles and responsibilities. And then in the next section, we will see how to become a data scientist. Here we'll draw a roadmap that you can follow to become a data scientist. After that, in the final section, we will take you through a few useful resources that you can put to use in order to get started. If you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. And hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an update from Edureka YouTube channel. And I'll be happy to leave the links to data scientist certifications down in the description below. Let's get started. First up, why become a data scientist? So there are several reasons why somebody should become a data scientist, but we're going to take a look at the most compelling ones, which are growing demand, high salary, low competition, and diverse domains. So let's go over them one by one. First up, growing demand. US Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that there'll be around 11.5 million data scientist jobs by the year 2026. That says a lot about the field itself, and the reason behind such a humongous growth rate is that organizations all across the globe have realized that data science is pertinent and very important in crucial decision making. And so all the big organizations across the world are willing to pay hefty salaries to data scientists. That brings us to the second reason why somebody should become a data scientist, and that is high salary. In India alone, a data scientist can easily make on an average over 9 lakhs. In the United States, that number is 120,000 US dollars. Data scientists with experience of more than 5 years can make 20 to 30 lakhs or even over that. And in the United States, they can make over $200,000 to $500,000 per annum. So those are some attractive figures. And keep in mind, they don't include bonuses, incentives, benefits, and allowances. So those are some crazy good figures. The third reason is low competition. Organizations all across the globe have realized the importance of data science, and so they're hiring data scientists left, right, and center. But the problem for them is it's hard for them to find good data scientists. So, in other words, the demand for data scientists is very high, and the supply of good data scientists is considerably low. The fourth reason is diverse domains. If you choose to become data scientist, you can actually end up in any domain. For example, product, manufacturing, energy, retail, marketing, healthcare, and a dozen more. And the implementation of data science is increasing day upon day. And as each day passes by, people are discovering more ways to use data science in different ways in different domains. And so data scientist's job is never going to be boring because they can move between domains and help different sorts of industries. So it's always going to be challenging and it's always going to be fun. So now that we have seen that it's a good idea to become a data scientist if you're data oriented, let's now find out what does a data scientist do, as in what are their roles and responsibilities. Okay, so the first thing that they do is ask the right questions to begin the discovery process. So what I mean by that is data scientists are hired to solve problems for a company or to help them make crucial decisions. In order to solve any big problem, they have to ask the right questions which will lead them to the right data to collect, and the processes and models they need to use or build to eventually pull the right answers that will help a business grow or get rid of its problems. So after figuring out what data to collect, now they actually have to clean and prep the data for analysis. So this is referred to as ETL, which stands for extract, transform, and load. Extraction is the process of acquiring the data from various sources that could be in different databases like MySQL, MongoDB, and others. Transformation is the process where missing values in the data are filled and the undesirable values are replaced with the correct values. Then all that data from different sources is merged to make clean, uniform data that could be integrated and stored in the organization's existing database systems. So, what would be next? Loading. So, loading refers to the process where the data is integrated and stored in the organization's databases. So, after ETL, they have data that is ready and stored to perform analysis and investigation exploration on. So, what do they do next? Well, of course, they perform initial data investigation and exploratory data analysis to make sure that everything that they collected is useful in the context of solving that problem. And this also gives them an idea as to which models and algorithms they need to use in order to extract the meaningful insights. So, obviously, after they perform this investigatory and exploratory data analysis, they choose the appropriate models and algorithms that will identify patterns and trends in the data. So, they use different data science techniques such as machine learning, statistical modeling, and deep learning sometimes as well in order to make these models that gives the appropriate results that they're looking for. After that, they move on to checking the accuracy of the models and improve the models if needed. Once they are satisfied with the models and its accuracy and the answers that they're getting, they move on to making reports so that they can extract all of these insight into a report form that can be presented to the stakeholders. And so this is usually the last step where a decision is made using the insights and recommendations from the data scientists and their reports. It is also at this stage that data scientists may make some adjustments based on the feedback that they get from stakeholders. Even after the decision is made and the problem is solved, they continue to adjust and retrain the models if needed, so they continue to provide the desired results that will help guide the business. So I hope this was clear. Why don't we move on to the next section, which is skills required for a data scientist? So after going through a lot of job descriptions on sites like Indeed, Glassdoor, and more, we've found that these are the basic skills required if you want to make it as a data scientist. So first up, mathematics. Mathematics forms the foundation for data science. In mathematics, you should know statistics and probability. And if you want to become the best data scientist possible, you'll also learn linear algebra and calculus. We're going to dive into details of what you should learn in mathematics, but for now, let's move on. Second skill that you need is programming. You don't have to be a master at programming. You need to know enough in order to use the libraries, handle files, and process data. Then the third skill that you should have is data science and machine learning. So you should know all the concepts of data science and machine learning, and you should know which concepts to implement in which scenarios. Moving on, the fourth skill is deep learning. So it is very useful for an aspiring data scientist to not only know the concepts of data science and machine learning, but they should know deep learning so they are able to replicate neural networks to produce predictive models. The fifth skill that a data scientist does need to have is data visualization. They should be able to take all the insights from models and systems that they've built and be able to put that in a form of a report where they can explain the insights in the simplest way possible so even a layman who doesn't know technical terms is able to understand what the data is trying to show. And the last skill that data scientists should know is big data. Data is all around us, and we're producing more and more data every day. Data that is so huge that it's hard for normal people to comprehend. But data scientists need to know how to process big data. So, processing big data and drawing insights from it requires different set of tools than processing normal data sets. So, it is essential for data scientists to know how to work with big data. So, I hope you got a picture of what kind of skills are required in order to fulfill the roles and responsibilities that we went over. Apart from these sort of technical skills, there are some soft skills that you need to be very good at as well. For example, good communication, being able to abstract the complex ideas and explain them to stakeholders and business clients. Now that we got a good picture of roles and responsibilities of a data scientist and what kind of skills are required in order to fulfill those roles and responsibilities, let's quickly find out how to become a data scientist by showing you a roadmap. So, the first point on the journey to become a data scientist is to make sure that you're well versed in the mathematics for data science. So, what do I mean by mathematics? Well, not all mathematics is essential in order to become data scientists, but it's very useful to know four different distinct concepts of math, namely linear algebra, calculus, probability, and statistics. You can probably get away with just learning probability and statistics, but if you want to become a really good data scientist, you will have to incorporate machine learning math, which entails linear algebra and calculus. So, what do we need to learn in these topics? So, in linear algebra, you should know what a scalar, vector, matrix is and how to perform different types of operations on each one of these. Then you should also learn the application of linear algebra in machine learning. How is this subject, linear algebra, used in machine learning? There would be no point of learning linear algebra without knowing its application in machine learning. It's like having a tool not knowing what that tool does. Next subject that you should learn is calculus. In calculus, please learn differentiation rules, partial differentiation, and how all of these apply in machine learning. But those two topics that we just talked about, linear algebra and calculus, are relatively optional if you just want to become an entry level data scientist. The two of the most important topics are probability and statistics. So let's take a look at probability now. You should know rules of probability, dependent and independent events, implement conditional, marginal, and joint probability using Bayes' theorem, probability distribution, and central limit theorem. And in statistics, you should know all the terminologies, numerical parameters like mean, mode, median, sensitivity, entropy, sampling techniques, types of statistics, hypothesis testing, data clustering, testing data, regression modeling. So the concepts that we just talked about of probability and statistics will form the basis that you will use to process data and gain insights. So as you're learning mathematics for data science, it's also a good idea to start acquiring programming skills. So in programming skills, what do you need to know? Well, two of the most famous programming languages are R and Python, but especially Python is used in the entire world. In India, both Python and R are used heavily. Go with either one of them and you shouldn't have any problems. Remember earlier I mentioned that you don't have to be a programming wizard in order to get good at data science? Well, that is absolutely true. Let's now say that you're learning Python programming. So you start with the basic syntax and what data structures are. After that, you should start learning file operations, functions, and object-oriented programming, and how to use different modules in order to process data. You should also know how to handle exceptions. And as you're learning the math, it's very good to start learning the libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. If you're learning the programming languages R, learn the same concepts. And for libraries, it is essential to learn E1071 and POT for R programming. Apart from Python or R, you should also know a bit of SQL as it forms the basis to understand any type of databases. You don't have to master SQL, just try to understand the CRUD, which is create, read, update, and delete data in relational database systems. This is going to give you a good idea how databases work and how to query them, how to modify data, transform data, and extract data. So let's say you've been learning math and programming skills and you've done some practical examples or real world scenarios. Now would be a good time to start learning different concepts in data science and machine learning. So why don't we take a look at data science? In data science, you should first obviously understand what data science is. You should know what data analysis pipeline is, then data extraction, types of data, techniques like data wrangling, exploratory data analysis, data visualization. And when it comes to machine learning, you should definitely know what type of machine learning models are there, namely supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. And there are various algorithms within each one of them, so you should know them as well. Apart from these, you should also learn dimensionality reduction concept, time series analysis, and then depending on the kind of situation and problem at hand, you should also learn how to do model selection and boosting. So at this point, you're getting quite good and deep into data science. And as you learn all of these topics one by one, you should do practical examples using Python or R and make sure that you really have a grasp of all these concepts. because these are the core concepts that will help you get your foot in the door and help you become a data scientist. So, what is next? So, the fourth skill is deep learning concepts and know how to implement them. So, in deep learning, you should know single layer perceptron, TensorFlow 2.0, convolutional neural networks, regional CNN, implement Boltzmann machine and autoencoder, generative adversarial network, emotion and gender detection, RNN and GRU, LSTM. If you haven't heard about these concepts, then you must be feeling overwhelmed. Let me put your mind at ease. These are not too difficult, especially after learning machine learning and data science concepts. You should be able to pick them up quite easily. So, a big part of becoming a data scientist is to make sure that whatever you're learning conceptually, you should be able to implement it in real life scenarios. And so, just learn the basics and know how to implement them. Moving on to the next skill that you should have is big data and its tools like PySpark, Hadoop, and so on. Now we are entering the realm of big data. For a data scientist, it is very essential, especially these days, to know how to handle big data. So you might ask, what are the different big data tools and concepts? So here they are. Big Data Hadoop and Spark, Apache Spark Framework, Spark RDDS, data frames and Spark SQL, machine learning using Spark MLlib, understanding Apache Kafka and Apache Flume, Apache Spark streaming, processing multiple batches and data sources. Again, don't dive too deep into these topics. You should just know the basics, don't be overwhelmed, and move on to the next thing. Last skill to acquire, which is data visualization. And so you should know tools like Tableau. So in data visualization, you should learn basic visual analytics, advanced visual analytics, calculations, level of detail LOD expressions, geographical visualizations, advanced charts, dashboard, and stories. And so obviously you can use different tools, but two of the tools that are used most widely across the world are Tableau and Power BI. So these are very powerful tools and they're very easy to use, very user friendly, and learning them will enable you to represent data in a very spectacular fashion. So, wrapping up, so you should start your journey with mathematics for data science. Along with that, you can start learning programming skills as well. Then learn data science and machine learning fundamentals and concepts. Know how to implement various concepts using Python or R. Then move on to learning deep learning concepts and know how to implement those as well. After that, you should know how big data works and what are the tools that are industry standard, like we discussed. And finally, you should learn how to visualize the different insights, patterns, and trends that you have gathered by implementing different models and systems. And I can guarantee that if you follow this roadmap judiciously, then you will become a data science wizard. So, what does the career path look like? Let's say you're a bachelor's in mathematics, statistics, finance, economics, or computer science or related fields, and you have some industry experience and you want to become a data scientist. Well, if you follow this roadmap, it can take you anywhere from 6 months to 12 months, depending on how fast you're able to learn the basics and implement them. For some people, it can take more than 12 months, but if you stick to this roadmap, it will definitely help you become a data scientist. Okay, so I'm hoping that you were able to understand the roadmap. Let's now take a look at some of the useful resources that will help you get started. So, of course, the first incredibly helpful resource that we have is Edureka's YouTube channel, where we have videos upon videos upon videos of good content on data science explaining all the concepts we just talked about. And it's available for free. So make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell icon so you're never missing an update. And we constantly update our videos to include the most relevant information as per changing times. The next resource is our blog series on data science. So you should check out our Edureka website, which is edureka.co, for entire blogs and pages upon pages of all these concepts. So please make sure you visit Edureka website. We're going to leave the links to blog series on data science in the description so you can find that and get started. Now, people who need a little bit of more help, we have world-class instructors and we have world-class programs that can help you out as well. So some of the programs are on the screen, and I recommend that you go for Data Science Masters program because it covers the whole roadmap and you don't have to worry about finding resources. And so you don't have to worry about getting off track because it is a beautifully laid out track to become a master in data science. So please check out that as well. But if you are interested in individual courses, we also have Python certification, data science with Python, data science with R certification, statistics essential for analytics, deep learning training certification with TensorFlow, Apache Spark and Scala training, Tableau certification training, and so many more. And before I deliver my parting words in this video, I just want to point out that our master's course alumni work for some amazing companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Cisco, Dell, KPMG, and a zillion other good companies, multinational conglomerates. And this is a testament to how good our courses are. And so, if you're interested in becoming a data scientist and you're getting confused along the way, it's always a good idea to take up one of these master's program because the value is incredible. As you already saw, the attractive salaries of data scientists. So, investment in yourself is, I don't even need to explain to you guys, but if you invest a year of your life and take this master's program, it's going to change your life. And I think you guys already know it, so I don't have to reiterate the same statement. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you have any questions or queries, please leave them down in the comment section below. And I truly hope that this video was informational and educational for you guys. Until next time, take care and thank you so much.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!